Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to another match preview show for you guys this evening. Yes, Liverpool do. We have got to retain our cups from last season, and yes, we do take on Derby County in the Carabao Cup at Anfield, of course, tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I believe it's not on telly because I do believe that they have got the Manchester City and Chelsea game on. So, again, we'd have to find roundabouts for that anyway. Of course, we'll be talking a little bit about Liverpool v Derby, not as much as I think what we would normally be talking about in terms of Liverpool Derby, but again, I think obviously the big talking point once again is of course Liverpool and potentially having new owners. I think that's pretty much on everyone's lips at the minute, isn't it? The fact that Liverpool could potentially have new owners in the next couple of weeks, months. We don't know, of course, and hopefully we'll find out more clarity over the next couple of weeks and months anyway. But let me know, guys, how you lot are feeling as well. Do you want Liverpool to stay in the Cups this season? Do you want Liverpool to hopefully try and retain the Carabao Cup this season? Let me know everyone's thoughts in the comment section down below. But Brian saying hello, Connor as well. Doug is in as well, saying evening, Connor as well, and El Scouser is in as well, saying evening as well. Good to see you in here, guys, as well. And also as well, I should say, if you're new around here and watching us for the first time, then please hit that subscribe button. I believe now we're 13 away or 14 away from 800. So if we can get there as quick as possible, then that would be very much appreciated. And as well, yesterday we had a massive, boost in terms of people viewing on the video yesterday, and I had a couple of people message me, commenting and asking, did I know anything about that? No, I don't know anything. I'm not anyone in the know. But again, it was just nice to, see the positive reaction on some people's minds and that, and just, positive towards the video anyway. So if anyone's new around here, then please like, please share, and subscribe as well. Anyway, but if you guys are living under a rock anyway and did miss yesterday's video, let me quickly go back up anyway. Of course, if you were living under a rock yesterday, of course the news Liverpool are up for sale, and of course the statement from FSG, and of course the statement from the Spirit of Shankly as well. That was the main one. Let me quickly, because I haven't added it right now, to be fair. Anyway, but last night, anyway, of course, if anyone does want to check up on the latest Liverpool news on Twitter, especially the Anfield Talk is the best to go on. Again, the guys over there are pretty good in finding information for fellow Reds as well. But of course, coming out last night saying Liverpool have now received their first proposal from an interested party since putting the club up for sale as well. Obviously, Pep Linders did take the press conference today for the Derby game, and of course the whole conversation was the ownerships, what is happening, did they know, and so on. Of course, he did say that Klopp and the rest of the coaching staff and so on did know about Liverpool being put up on sale. I think he said a couple of weeks ago. So again, this hasn't been a spur of the moment thing. It has been thought out, and it has been thought of anyway. But I want to quickly, before I get up some more news, about, of course, oh, hang on a minute. No, Klopp was made aware of. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, Jurgen was, and the coaching staff were made aware back on the first week of October. Anyway, so that's the interesting in the clarity of it as well. Anyway, but I want to quickly bring up what Pep Linders actually said as well in the press conference today. If you guys can see that, saying that the statement was clear. It's nothing new for the club to try to find investors. They are acting in the best interest of the club to take the club forward. For me, they are good owners. That is words from Pep Linders. They, of course, in today's press conference, for the game against Derby tomorrow. But I think that's interesting. Pep Linders mentioning that they're trying to find investors. Now, if I quickly, take that off the screen right now, because there has been some more news over the last, I want to say the last hour or so. If I can quickly bring up the Mirror's report. According to the Mirror, anyway, if I quickly get that up, there we go. According to the Mirror, Dubai International Capital is weighing up a bid for Liverpool, according to reports in the Middle East as well. And of course, this group was the group that did try and buy Liverpool way back when. I think it was 2007 they tried to buy Liverpool, and again, of course, they missed out to Hicks and Gillette as well. And of course, it does open a can of worms, doesn't it? When we speak about who could potentially take on Liverpool. Of course, the club are getting supposedly all the bankers involved and getting everything prepared for a sale. And the one thing you'd most likely think of it that a sale will now happen at some stage. It might not be, imminent. It might not be, a quick fix. It might be something done in the summer or something like that. But again, I personally felt after doing the video yesterday and reading a few more of people's comments as well, I did feel like FSG still wanted to be in command. They just wanted that extra financial help in the club as well. And I think what FSG have realised as well is the fact that yes, they've been pretty decent owners in terms of rebuilding Liverpool into off the field into a mega club. But I think on the field, in terms of transfers and in terms of budgeting, I think obviously the Super League didn't help them because obviously their plans failed. Obviously, COVID didn't help as well. Of course, them selling 11% of Liverpool as well. Of course, just to help out with the COVID numbers and so on. Of course, wouldn't have wanted to have done that. But when you even look at that, they sold off 600 millions worth of Liverpool, and that was what 11%, something like that. If you look at the general of it, Liverpool are supposedly meant to be valued according to Forbes and other corporations, supposedly around 4.5 billion, which that's a staggering amount of amount of money. And again, you're only putting yourself in that small bracket, aren't you, in terms of who could afford Liverpool, because obviously there's been a couple of people today that have ruled themselves out. Obviously, I know that is it the Ricketts family, as I think it's just before coming on they've pulled out of the race, and I think many rival fans wanted them to take over at Liverpool because apparently they're not really good owners. So again, that's a relief anyway. And again, if Liverpool do go on and FSG go on to sell the club, again, I don't think they're going to sell to the highest bidder and run out the door. I don't think they'll do that. I think what they'll do is they'll sell the club to the correct people and to the correct owners that can take Liverpool up to that next phase, while hiring still the best people behind closed doors in terms of the transfer committee, the medical departments, everything that you can hire the best at. I think that's hopefully what FSG will do anyway. Fingers crossed. Anyway, but it is an interesting time, guys, as well. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, because I do think it is very, very interesting indeed. Anyway, but Brian says an early exit from one of the cups would probably help us this year as well. Absolutely. I'd hate to sacrifice cups and still miss out on top four. So try and win every game as well. Absolutely. Agree with Alscouser, but 4 competitions is too much again this season. I think with the squad we've got as well, I think I wouldn't be too disheartened if we did go out in the cup. I wouldn't mind beating Derby, especially at Anfield. But again, I wouldn't be disheartened if we did go out in the cups, because I do think this season in particular, where at the minute we're struggling in the league, I think that's the main priority at the minute. Obviously, the Champions League and the Premier League are the main priorities. But I think even Klopp realised the FA Cup last year did really kill us off. The Carabao Cup was nice because it was bang right in the middle of the season. But I do think that FA Cup final it did cost us the Champions League in many regards anyway. But Ratcliffe ruled out, I think. Yeah, no, he did rule himself out anyway. Isn't he a Manchester United fan, guys? I don't know whether or not if that's true. If he is, anyway, I don't want him at Liverpool. Anyway, but I'm just trying to check if there is any other significant news anyway, because there is reportedly as well. There's also uh, meant to be a financially backed person that could potentially invest in Liverpool. No names have been mentioned, but again, I don't know who that is. I know plenty of people on Twitter were going on about Conor McGregor. No, absolutely not. Anyway, but let me just quickly bring something else up. There we go. This is breaking news as it is right now. Anyway, but again, Liverpool owners will listen to offers of more 3 billion for the Premier League club. US banking sources have told the Times as well. So again, that's very, very interesting. 3 billion. Of course, Chelsea did sell. It did say 4.5 million last a billion, sorry, last year. But when you look more at the numbers, I think it was around 2.5 billion that they were totally sold for as well. I'm not particularly sure. There hasn't been really clarification on that. But if it is towards that back end of 4.5 billion, then I'd like to think Liverpool are more than definitely with over that. And again, according to Forbes, Forbes are the ones in America that are the ones that get, all the numbers and so on. Supposedly, Liverpool are estimated with 4.5 billion. So, again, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Jesus Christ, even 4 billion. That's mental. It's mental, isn't it? It's one of these things where I think that it's very important, isn't it, to remember as well, where do Liverpool go from this at the minute? Because again, yesterday it was exciting. Of course, all the news was exciting yesterday, and even today, it's exciting. But it does leave you a bit worried, doesn't it? What is next for Liverpool? And not just your Liverpool as well, Jurgen Klopp as well. It all comes together. And look, it's exciting, but it's also nervous as well, guys. As well, let me know as well your thoughts in the comment section down below, because again, it is interesting, it is worrying. And I saw plenty of people yesterday, panicking and worrying as well. Anyway, but there is more on that piece as well. Let me quickly bring that up as well. This is currently breaking at the minute as well, for you guys. But while offers are likely to come from the Far East and the Middle East for a club who boasts a global fan base of more than 100 million, financial experts think that other American owners is a most likely outcome as well. That's according to, of course, the report in the Times as well. Anyway, but again, that's very, very interesting. Again, as I repeat, while offers are more likely to come from the Far East and Middle East for a club who boasts a global fan base of more than 100 million, financial experts think that another American owner is the most likely outcome as well. Which again, that's the thing where I think Liverpool in particular have more of a chance of getting that towards that back end of the 4 billion mark, is the fact that the global fan base as well. Obviously, us, Manchester United, I know City, bought out that crappy report. When was it? Yesterday, I think it was. When you actually research it, it's very, very dodgy. I don't get it. If people don't, if you guys look on Twitter, and I'd advise you to go on Twitter and just search up, the Manchester City financial names. Again, it's so dodgy. It's so dodgy. It's unbelievable. But again, I don't want Liverpool to be that way anyway. But again, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We're not really talking about Derby Liverpool at the minute, because again, it is at this stage. Not really the main topic of conversation right now, anyway. But a bit worried. A bit worrying is that ethical entity have 4 billion laying around to buy a football team as well. Yeah, absolutely. El Scouse beat Real, and that Champions League is wide open, absolutely bright. It's mad, isn't it? Because you look at it on that side of things. Us, Madrid, PSG, and Bayern as well. Of course, I think Sadio Mane's just gone off injured in Bayern's game, which of course hoping he's okay because of course the World Cup. But again, you look at it, the Champions League is so wide open if we can get past Madrid as well. But Dan, I've only got 2 billion. Oh well, so bright. I match it somehow, and we'll buy Liverpool, and then liquidate the club. To be fair, because we wouldn't have any money left anyway. But I appreciate all the news. I honestly don't even look, so this is all breaking news for me as well. You're very welcome, Scouser as well. FSG we're on the way out after the European Super League deal collapsed as well. Says Mark. Sorry. Um, Maybe. Again, if you read the article and you read in between the lines, that is the main factor of what happens. With FSG, it was the main contribution to them now finally going, yes, we're going to sell, we're going to leave the club, and so on. And I think, but again, it's that thing of Pep Linders early on going on about you know FSG, they're looking for investors. They're looking for investors to come into the team. I think it's interesting that there are some reports, and the reports I've just read as well, saying that Liverpool are 100% looking for new owners. They're looking to profit in, because of course FSG have they have different opportunities they want to take. There's reports of them potentially buying into the NFL. There's potentially talks about them going to the NBA as well. There's over the last, I'd say, 6 months, FSG's name has been linked to a lot of stuff outside of football. Of course, they already own us. They already own the Red Sox as well in baseball. I think they've just acquired it's an ice hockey team back in February, I think it was, of this year. So again, they're trying to build up their portfolio, which again is the main thing for FSG, is the fact that they are trying to build their portfolio. And when you look at it at the moment, from going and buying a club for 300 million, and now looking at it, that club is worth 4.5 billion. Again, is a perfect it's a perfect look on it, isn't it? And if they can do that with a football club, even though Liverpool, the size of Liverpool and so on, in in England and around the world, and the world, sorry, bloody hell, it's almost sick then. But you look at it on a big scale, of course, it should be getting around that, the way that money's working at the minute, especially around football, because like we said, the fact that Chelsea are going for 4 billion, I think it was. Well, again, I'd like to say 2.5 billion, because I think that's where the real estimation was for it. But 2.5 billion. You look at Manchester United; they would be around that end, even though the Glazers have totally battered that club, in and out anyway. Of course, happily. But again, you look at it, they battered that club. City would be definitely up there now, wouldn't they? In terms of that estimated value, probably even a bit more, to be fair anyway. But until we have some clarity on the situation, I'll be nervous. This has to be done right as well. Absolutely. Absolutely agree with you on that, Mark. Bright as well. I bet you're right, Mark, as well. Everton getting smashed as well, so bloody hell, you'll have to see it. Losing 3-1 as well, bloody hell. That's another one. They've never won a trophy since 1995. So long may that continue. Big up, Connor. We're going into the oil businesses as well. Yeah, it does look like that at the minute, Rick, as well. Good to see you in here as well, my friend. But yeah, again, it does look like Liverpool, and again, Liverpool might have to. We might have to swallow a bitter pill, really. Because again, what are you? Are you? And let me know, guys, as well. in the chat, are you all about the morals of what we've been saying over the last 6, 7, 8 years about other clubs, in terms of oil money, or are we, we want to just be super super rich, and just to compete against City and eventually Newcastle, in that regards. And it's that factor where, and of course, a little bit of it yesterday was, and again, it's not all, and I will specify that it's not all from the Middle East, and so, but when you look at it, it's not. When you look at, say, for example, the World Cup, for example, the amount of human rights that has been, massively ill-treated in the build-up for that. You look at it on that side of things. Again, it's despicable. And again, plenty of people should be talking about it through the World Cup. And I think that's another thing with potentially, where Liverpool go, because again, it's that factor once again. If Liverpool are just looking for investors, I think that opens up the pond massively in terms of trying to get investors into Liverpool. If Liverpool are and FSG are wanting to sell the club, like we said, for the 4.5 billion that's been suggested, then that obviously shrinkens up that pool very, very much, and leaves it with only a handful of people that could potentially go for Liverpool then. And I think it is interesting, and I think obviously many people will have different thoughts, different beliefs, and so on as well. But again, they have to do this right. They have to do it right, because once again, we've seen how people reacted to the Super League, and rightfully so, in my opinion. And again, if this is done wrong again, Liverpool supporters will be, climbing the walls of Anfield to, get people's attention for this as well. But let me know, guys, your thoughts as well. And if there is any other breaking news as well, I will keep my eye on Twitter for you guys as well. Because again, Twitter isn't full of knowledge, don't get me wrong, but it is. Some places are pretty reliable. That's the one thing I will say. Anyway, but let's get to a few more of your comments then before we properly talk about Liverpool and Liverpool and Derby. I almost forgot Derby's name then. That was when they knew they had taken it as far as they could on their own as well. Absolutely, Bry. Pittsburgh Penguins as well. There we go. Thank you, Bry, for that as well. 4-1 now as well. Bloody hell, against absolutely smashed by Bournemouth, aren't they? There's no such thing as an honest a billionaire. No, there's. Yeah, no, there's not. Ever heard of Mario? He was the Messi of ice hockey years ago as well. Says El Scouser. Bournemouth as well. Yeah, Bournemouth they're losing to at the moment. FSG are more invested in building their portfolio with American sports rather than football teams as well. Yeah, well, at the minute, and I was listening to Redmond this morning about it. And to be fair, they were bringing up really, really good points about the NFL are a corporation. Obviously, football is pretty much a money pit where you're potentially you're losing more than you're gaining, if that makes sense. But obviously, the NFL they try and like make it a profit for the owners and the ownerships of it. Like I think you look at it at the minute. I think Lewis Hamilton and a bunch of other people have built a consortium to buy an NFL team as well. And I think there is currently one going as well. Let me know, guys, as well, if that is true. I think it is, but I'm not particularly sure on it. But again, FSG, by the sounds of it, FSG have plans elsewhere. That's what I'm getting from it. Anyway, as well. But yeah, Elska used always play for them in the NHL hockey as well. At least we'll always have our non-oil caps as well. Says El Scouser. It's human rights abuses I'm worried about, not oil as well. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'd prefer a third option where state ownerships is banned, and we don't have to compete with with financial doping, Newcastle and City as well. Yeah, 100%. I think again, though, that the problem is it won't ever get changed now because the Premier League buggered up back 10, 12 years ago whenever Manchester City got bought by the state, and I think that's the thing where obviously I know plenty of people. I think plenty of Newcastle supporters were having a go a little bit at Liverpool this morning about, oh, Liverpool might have to sacrifice everything they've been saying over the last couple of years and so on, and oh, they stopped us from being sponsored by the country and so on. And I'm like, well, yeah, because if you get sponsored by the country, then it's just a numerous amount of money. Like you look at Manchester City were caught cheating back, what was it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and of course only suffered a minor penalty because, of course, they had very, very good lawyers, and the likes of the Premier League, the UEFA, FIFA, and so on. They're cowards in many regards, in my opinion. I think they are because you look at UEFA, for example. UEFA are a joke in terms of again, the financial fair play. FFP, when they first introduced it, and if it continued the way it was, first of all, gonna happen, I think it'd be successful now. But again, corruption and just people looking, taking a blind eye. Then you could say at many things again as allowed other teams, and it's not just, and of course I don't want to just put 100% on City. It's not only them, it's Barcelona, it's PSG, it's Man City themselves, it's other teams, Madrid. I think even for an extended point you could possibly look at it on that side of things as well. So again, there's multiple teams, there's multiple people that have twisted things over the last couple of years, and that. So I think that's a completely other story for it anyway. To be fair, anyway, but at least China and Russia can't buy us as well. I think China can. I don't think Russia can. Although Russia can't, obviously. Morals in is successful business. Connor is a myth as well. Yeah, potentially. Rick, potentially. No, the Saudis, Mark. If I was a Newcastle fan, I would have had to walk away as well, says Hannah. This is probably this is a problem too. It shouldn't be on fans to be moral. Gatekeepers in sports, if the fit and proper owners test actually works as well. Absolutely, absolutely agree with you on that. They only got away because they let time limits run out on charges as well. Hope Doak plays tomorrow. We'll quickly talk about that as well. Manchester City currently have the 10th most nuclear warheads. Such a country runs states as well. Name a country that has a clean hand on human rights. Question again. I don't really want to dive down that bracket of things. Again, nobody is perfect, and look, the thing is, the best scenario would be when the guys and chat as well. The perfect scenario would be if we got a rich Liverpool fan that was a passionate supporter of the club, knew everything of the club, the history, so on, knew everything about the team, and could just back the club financially and back the people in the correct positions, correctly, so we could go on and compete, and go on and build the team up for the next 10 years plus. That's the hope and dream as well, isn't it? And that would be the dream. But again, I'm talking about that again. It's not right, is it? To be fair, anyway. But there's several, to be honest, as well. Says Hannah. PSG other words for it as well. Name them, Hannah, please, as well. Countries have excellent records on human rights as well. Scandinavian countries have the best thing for that anyway. But yeah, absolutely for that anyway. But let's get on then, guys, to talking about Liverpool v Derby. Of course, I think it's the first time Liverpool have played Derby since, I think, probably the 2000. and what was it, the 2008 season, I believe. I could be wrong with that. Let me double check on that anyway. Let me quickly go down anyway. Actually, no, the last time Liverpool played Derby was a 3-0 League Cup win, actually, back in 2016. I believe, yeah, Philip Coutinho, Divock Origi, and Ragnar Klavan got the 3 goals for Liverpool, all in the, oh no, 2 goals in the second half, 1 goal in the first half, as well. Bloody hell, was that when um we played? Yeah, we played Karius, Klein. Bloody hell, that team is that's a very old Liverpool Jurgen Klopp team anyway. But again, of course, um, familiar side, of course, in Derby, of course, plenty of history, plenty of course, like I said, history. Obviously, some good, some bad. And again, guys, let me know your starting 11 predictions because I have got it on. This is Anfield. I haven't made a starting 11 lineup tonight. I have cheated a little bit anyway. Sadly, they don't have Ben Doak on the thing anyway. So let me know your starting 11 predictions in the comment section down below. But for me, this would be my team um, to face Derby tomorrow anyway. Oh, there we go. I did have it up, and no, I didn't, to be fair anyway. But that would be my team to face Derby County tomorrow anyway at Anfield. Of course, tomorrow at 8 o'clock anyway. But that would be my team. Pretend that the space but there is for Ben Doak, because I do believe Ben Doak will start tomorrow for Liverpool. He's been doing amazingly in the under 21 system anyway. But I do think it will be Kelleher in goal, Calvin Ramsey getting his first start for Liverpool, Joe Gomez, Nat Phillips, and Kostas Tsimikas. I do think it will be Stefan Betetic. Again, I can't say his name. I'm terrible at that, so apologies for that. I think obviously Pep Linders was speaking about it earlier on, and it's pretty much guaranteeing he's going to play some part in tomorrow. And I do think he does start for Liverpool tomorrow. Of course, Curtis Jones on the left and James Milner coming back from, of course, the concussion problem that he did have. Obviously playing on the right of midfield. And then I do think he will be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Fabio Carvalho, and of course Ben Doak starting for Liverpool tomorrow against Derby County. Again, it could be anyone, couldn't it? It could be we could see the likes of Darwin Nunes could play a couple of minutes. Harvey Elliott could play a couple of minutes. Jordan Henderson could. Again, it's just depending who we need match fit. But then the problem is we've got this game and then we've got Southampton on I think Saturday then, and then that's it. That's Liverpool done for at least a month anyway of football. So again, football is coming to an end, slowly. And once again, I don't know what we're going to be doing through the World Cup, guys. Let me know. Would you like, a particular series, or would you like us to, talk about the Reds during the World Cup and that? Because at the present moment in time, of course, it does look like Liverpool are going to have their worst representation at the World Cup. I think since the 1980s, I think, or the 1970s. I think it's somewhere around there anyway. So again, there's only going to be a handful of Liverpool's players going to the World Cup as things stand as well. So you guys would, have any ideas that you'd like to see during the World Cup? Because it's going to be a pretty quiet month, unless, of course, there is news about, the ownership or, of course, any transfers. Because again, that's going to be the big talking point now, most likely over the next 5 weeks is going to be transfers. Because again, no football being played apart from, of course, the World Cup. And again, we're not going to be talking about Liverpool Football Club unless it is pretty much transfers or big news in that regard anyway. So again, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, I think. And again, obviously the Reds are going out to Dubai as well. So again, there is plenty going on still in the world of Liverpool Football Club. Anyway, but FSG with a bit more of transfer, a bit of a transfer would be perfect. Would only need two and a half decent midfielders as well. I think Jamie Carragher said it perfectly today on the overlap. I think he said, or I think it was yesterday the overlap, but it came out today, saying that Liverpool are most likely going to spend 200. Well, they'll need to spend around 200 million uh, in the summer just on midfielders, and I think it's the perfect scenario where yes, Liverpool do need major backing in the midfield category because when you look at it, goalkeepers, we don't need goalkeepers. Defenders, you know, potentially maybe one defender. If, for example, a Joe Gomez, not Joe Gomez, yeah, if a Joe Gomez or Joel Matip was to leave as well, midfield obviously massively, and up front we might need someone because of course Bobby most likely going to be going next season. So again, we might need that one player in there as well. So majorly it's just midfield. The Liverpool need major backing in as well. Anyway, so yeah, absolutely agree with you on that. But Brian's gone Adrian, Ramsey, Gomez, Philip Simicas, Henderson, Carvalho, Betic, there we go, Nunes, Elliott, and Doak as well. Brian's gone for. I like that lineup as well. You might not go that strong, considering we need to win against Southampton on the weekend as well. But just a guess as well. Yeah, but again, it's a guessing game, isn't it? You don't really know in the cup games what Liverpool are going to play, unless of course it is a game we're going to go on and try and win a trophy or something like that. I forgot Ox was fit. Put him in for Nunes maybe as well. Yeah, I think Ox. I think Ox does play. Whether or not that be in midfield or up front, I do not know. Should be a good game as well, says Mark. Ox is a confidence player too. He will get better with a few minutes in his legs as well, says Hannah. Absolutely. Just general news shows are cool. Go with what's happening as well, says Brian as well. Absolutely brilliant with that, guys, as well. Yeah, but for me, guys, I'm going to go with a Liverpool 2-0 win. I don't think it's going to be, as dominant as what people think. I think Derby at the minute, looking at it, on the form tables and just quickly looking at it right now. Anyway, of course, both teams have been suffering. Derby have drawn, I think, 3 out of their last 4 games in the league. Anyway, of course, I think Derby are, let me double check, I think are in League One. Yeah, they are in League One. They're currently 7th in League One as well. So again, not too bad, not too shabby. Of course, underneath the likes of Bolton, of course, the likes of Owen Beck there as well. But again, what's happened there. Of course, they would probably like. It is probably pretty much going to be, the Warner Cup run, especially what's happened with Derby over the last couple of years as well. To be fair, but is Milner clear of concussion stuff? Yes, I think he is. I think he was touch and go, wasn't he, for the weekend? I think he was fine, but I think he is okay to be playing tomorrow as well, Elscouser as well. But goalkeepers might be a thing in the summer. Ali, all the talk over here is Kelleher will leave to play every week, and Adrian is out of contract, I'm sure. Yes, Adrian is out of contract. I don't think Kelleher will go next year. I think the year after, if he can't get regular regular time. And to be fair, he is too good of a goalkeeper to be on the bench week in, week out. So I don't think he'll be next summer, though. Even though last summer was pretty much touch and go, wasn't it? I don't know. It is touch and go, isn't it? And yeah, maybe goalkeeper, yeah, maybe Brian, goalkeepers might need to be looked at as well. I know we do have that young Brazilian kid, don't we, that's currently out, or is it Macclesfield he's currently out for? I don't even know who he's out on for. But again, it will be interesting to see as well. But did anyone hear Manan and for God's sake? God's sake, Hannah. No, I did not hear that as well. But hell, if he again, classic Steve McManaman. I can't say his name properly, but I don't think I'm not bad, to be fair. I'd like to see Nunes as I just want him banging in goals for confidence. He can handle the volume of games as well. Hope so as well. And again, of course, the World Cup coming up is it's mad, isn't it? You look at it. yeah, what we're 12 days from the World Cup, is it? Again, it's ridiculous, isn't it? A lot of good goalkeeper kids coming up as well, says Mark. And again, Hannah saying now he'll always be the tits for me as well. Absolutely. Anyway, but guys, we are going to leave it there for tonight. Anyway, of course, we'll be back tomorrow after the game for, of course, the post-match reaction. Hopefully, to Liverpool going through to the next round. Anyway, I don't know when the draw is. I think it's after the games tomorrow. I think that's how they do it. Of course, Chelsea and Manchester City, one of them will be going out to the competition tomorrow as well. So again, potential there for Liverpool to maybe bounce back with confidence. But again, if we can beat Derby and then look ahead then to Southampton to the weekend, will be a massive positive as well. Anyway, but um, have I frozen? I think I have a little bit. You always need a good senior backup keeper to a Sergio Romero type as well. Absolutely. Mark saying thanks, guys. Let's have a great win tomorrow. Absolutely. And night all as well, says Brian as well. Anyway, but yeah, guys, if you're new around here as well, viewing us for the first time, if you could please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button as well, because I believe we are 14 away from 800. So if we can get there as quick as possible, that'll be very much appreciated as well. Again, a massive, I appreciate all of the support, all of the love on the channel as well. I do very much and appreciate, I should say, all of you guys' support as well. Anyway, but guys, I'll be back tomorrow with a post-match reaction, and then of course, if there's any other news concerning the takeover or so on, I will be live or as quick as I can be live anyway for you guys anyway. But guys, I've been Connor from the Cup Council. I'll see you all tomorrow. Ta-ra.